This is Lost in Seattle, episode 26. 25. So, we finally out of YouTube jail.
Yeah.
How was it being in the pen?
First day out.
Man, listen. YouTube keep fucking with our channel.
By the way, you know they just came down with another set of rules to get rid of all quote unquote anti-vaccine content. Not just for COVID. So any anti-vaccine content they deem anti-vaccine, they get rid of all of it. A whole bunch of big channels have been taken down.
So we're gonna be saying subliminal stuff. And y'all just gonna have to catch it.
They smart. They can catch it. As a matter of fact, we really put ourselves in the blender. Well, we don't have to say stuff, and we just go on and on.
Yeah, I was the one that got us.
No, here's the thing. It started when I said something about ballots.
And then
you went on further and said the whole thing outlined. They was like, God damn. They was like an easy
man,
hit.
go hard or go home. Balls to the wall.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Speaking of getting out of jail, somebody about to go to prison.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. That's a whole different type of prison. We ain't putting that,
we weren't in jail for racketeering or trafficking.
Yeah, that's a whole different type of problem.
We was in YouTube jail for speaking truth
to power. You know how the old saying, the truth shall not be televised? They're right. Won't be televised.
YouTube, it won't be televised.
It will not be televised, buddy.
That should be YouTube's slogan. The truth will not be televised. Because you say anything out of line, they're getting your ass up out of here.
Pacquiao, what's crazy is they hit us with something that happened
a week ago. That's why I said.
And by the way, here's why I effed up at. I'm still learning how to. We beat the COVID case. We beat that one when they flagged us, and I beat the case.
You ain't beating COVID cases no more, though.
But since then, they've been on our owners. But this case, I tried to go about it the wrong way. I tried to say, we didn't mean it that way. What I should have said was, I already sent this video through a human review. If they didn't flag it, why are you?
Exactly.
I should have been saying, I asked for a human review, they let it through. Because when you upload a video and you monetize, if it gets limited ads, you can then have it a review, and a human will watch the video and give it a yay or nay. So I had a human watch that video.
So we do have a featured channel. It's Lost in Seattle 2, a TV2 channel.
Yeah, that channel.
You gonna put in the link?
No, it's already.
We don't need to be in the link. It's a featured channel.
So just go to the channel, go to our channel, just go to channels. The tab, and you'll see it there.
That will be our backup channel. We're gonna be working on some new stuff on that channel.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully, you guys will enjoy that content as well.
Yeah, when we start on it, we'll tell you. Well, we'll tell you what it is. We're gonna try to do some movie stuff.
We're just gonna be doing movie reviews, entertainment. It still will be kind of related to what we're doing. We're gonna be diving in and
to movies. We're going to when we started doing this. We actually was doing movies at first, talking about movies and stuff. You go back to episode 1 and all that stuff. We would talk about movies sometimes, but we're going to move that. We're going to try to go back to that just because.
But not on this channel.
Some movies you just want to talk about.
And then sometimes it has a deeper meaning to it that is also affecting our people as well.
Yeah. So
it still will have some type of, it will be a serious
we just found
commentary.
We just finally started watch the Candyman. So that movie got mixed reviews from people. It was okay to me.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
But I get why some people look at it as a negative. Definitely see why.
I thought it was going to be far worse than what it was by what the people explained.
I think because they took the movie and continued it after the first one.
Yeah.
But we're getting that's whatever. We'll get into that when we decide to start.
So speaking of R. Kelly.
But R. Kelly. So R. Kelly. What the? Oh, our fault. R. Kelly and the plague of violence against women. This was a opinion piece written on Daily News. As you know, we already did a video on R. Kelly and the whole situation and gave some of our thoughts on it.
And we said we're gonna go deeper.
Well, not deeper. We're just gonna flush out our opinions more here.
And I said y'all wasn't gonna like what I had to say.
So R. Kelly has become a lightning rod for think pieces about the violence against women. It started as a violence against black women, but like always, the other racist white women took it and said, oh, look what happens to women. Look what just happened to the Gabby girl at the same time as this R. Kelly case. See, violence against women is normalized. By the way,
that story to me is a ritual story they do every couple of years with a random white woman that goes missing, and then it's a search for her. I think it's bullshit.
You think they're gonna find him?
I think if they find him, he's gonna be
out of commission.
Yeah.
So R. Kelly, as you said, he finally was convicted. The sentencing is sometime later this year.
You know, Bill Cosby also came out and spoke about it, but I did not listen to what he had to say about it.
It wasn't Bill Cosby.
Oh, who
allegedly, it was his publicist.
Okay.
Who said that he felt like R. Kelly was railroaded.
I agree.
Your opinion is your opinion. But the reason why I'm going to say R. Kelly has been used as a scapegoat, because a lot of people say, well, he's guilty of what he did. We know. I agree.
Yeah.
But they didn't go after the whole shebang. Once again, he was convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering, not for being with underage women. Underage girls, should I say.
Lord have mercy.
Underage girls.
Underage girls, not women.
Once that gets confusing, because now with the feminist talk, you're supposed to call them under. We're not even getting to that. I'm not even going to go into that. So I feel like they could have. There's no way you can convince me R. Kelly is the head of some empire of sex trafficking and racketeering. R. Kelly can barely read and write. Now, I'm not saying, hell, we know that the mafia, the mafias back in the 30s and stuff, a lot of them were illiterate, but they were really the muscle. They would hire people, typically Jewish and Irish lawyers and all them to handle the business and the negotiating, and they were the muscle. And as bloody as they is, it's funny how the mafia is remembered as some positive, not really positive, but some
pop culture.
Yeah, not pop culture. It's like there's this mystique around the mafia, where it's held in some high regard, and it's like
they've turned. But they've fantasized it.
Yeah. So back to the point. I understand that R. Kelly, even though he may not be able to read and write as well, that doesn't mean he can't run an empire. But we know it's not him. We know for a fact that parents were willingly bringing their kids to him, willingly, in order to gain something, either for their money,
career,
or to bring their kid. Hell, we all watched Surviving with R. Kelly. What did every last one of those women or girls say? They admitted, my parents basically sent me to him for a chance to be with R. Kelly, the great R. Kelly, and it led to this. And I see all these people saying stuff like, the reason why R. Kelly was able to get away with it for so long is because people kept calling the girls fast or acting grown. And I have a question. When a 15-year-old girl admittedly sneaks off to a concert with a fake ID to meet R. Kelly, what is she?
She's fast.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not blaming them. I'm really blaming the parents and R. Kelly. But at some point, we have to look at the kid and say, look, back to the Dave Chappelle bit that he did. How old is 15? At 15, you can go to prison for murder. At 15, you can, all these other things can apply to you. But when it comes to this, it's like you're basically a 5-year-old all of a sudden. Like, do you want to do this? You may not understand the circumstances of doing it and how they might lead to your future, but you pursuing it means either your parents have been negligent in teaching you about this, or it's something you've already experienced and you're pursuing it anyway.
Well, that's why we need black fathers in the household.
100%.
We need black fathers in the household. I know some of those.
Hold on. Not just black fathers, proper black fathers.
That's what I'm saying.
Girls had fathers in their lives.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Okay.
Proper black fathers in the households, teaching their daughters, grooming their daughters on how to be in relationships with men, how to value themselves and not just see themselves as sexual objects or using their bodies to get what they want. Because that's the whole quote.
Yeah.
Use your body to get what you want.
Yep. And this, in the whole situation, like I said, you don't blame the young girls, but you definitely have to point at this and say, this is not good behavior.
And not only that, we grew up in an era where, not grew up in an era, but our grandmother was like,
see, and that's this is where the situation gets touchy, because we all got great grandmothers and grandmothers that started dating our grandfather at 15 and he was 22.
Yeah, 20, 22, 25.
Sometimes older.
Sometimes 30.
And when we start saying, well, that don't mean it's right, well, that's what it was. I'm just saying.
Because once again, if you look at it, men often always sought out younger.
I won't say.
No, I'm not gonna say they sought out younger, but when
I
you're
say younger women,
younger
not
women,
not girls,
not younger girls, younger women. We're specifying, but not pedos.
Around the early 20s, yeah,
because
longer.
they're able to start having children.
Yeah,
because that's what it was about then. It was about having children for sharecropping.
Yep.
Those were your employees. Your kids was your employees.
Pretty much. And a lot of men, a lot of people won't admit this, a lot of your granddaddies had multiple families.
Yeah, they had a family on the south side and a family on the west side.
Yeah, and he would go to their house, spend 4 days here, 3 days here.
Or switch it up next week, 3 days there and 4 days there.
Sometimes he might spend a whole week over here and spend a whole week. It was just what it was. Mama knew what was going on. The kids kind of knew. And then when they turned their teenage years, they would meet each other. Oh, okay, it's my brother. Oh, it's my sister or something. But I get it. Times change. And, it's, you know, we're supposed to be so-called progressive and move with the times and all this other stuff. But listen.
Because we have to see this, and I've said this in other videos, the women are always, there's always more women than there are men.
Yeah.
So the Most High meant for men to have more than one woman. And the black woman should be viewing it. So if there's 5 million black women and there's 3 million black men, that means some men, you're gonna have to cleave. Yeah. Some men are gonna have more than one, unless you want to go date out and be with another race of men.
And that's where it becomes a situation where there's gonna be men who don't. Now I'm not talking about homosexual men. I'm talking about straight men who don't want to be in a relationship. Then you got the man who want multiple women.
Then you got a man who just don't want to take on having 2 women. One is just enough for them.
So it's a choice that got to be made.
But in
a structured society with a strong culture, this wouldn't be a problem.
And that homosexuality is not going to be in that strong culture. So it will be.
It will be.
Either you want 2 or 3, you want 1.
Or you find a dude who only want 1.
That's how it's going to be.
So yeah. I saw. Speaking on that, I saw this woman tweeted out something, and she made me think about it in a different perspective. This is a quick off right here. She said that the music they're making now, because we listen to the music and we say they're pushing homosexuality agenda.
Ooh, they pushing homosexuality agenda and interracial agenda right now.
But this girl pointed out, she was like, well, there's also rappers who are pushing it in a way that you don't think about it. Like you'll see a rapper say money over hoes, or F bitches, I'm with my niggas and all that stuff. And you think about that from a certain perspective, is he saying I'm focused on me and getting this money and I'll worry about women later? But she said, well, what if he's saying I'd rather be with my male friends than be with a woman? Is it kind of desensitizing boys to view women as, we always, you hear this saying how men view women as just sex. And what if that's really what they're pushing? And what if that leaks into some homoerotic? I mean, if you listen to like NBA YoungBoy, y'all might like him. I don't mind his music, but there's certain things he said in his music before that make you go, Like he said, instead of spending money on the woman, he'll spend it all on his homies. Half of that you can agree with, instead of spending all your money on a random woman, but spending it on your homies.
If a man don't work, a man don't eat.
So it's like, why are you saying you won't spend it on her,
but you rather spend it on a dude?
Now, I don't know what he meant by what he meant by that. Might have been
that's how I'm taking it and I'm receiving it.
Maybe he meant I got millions, so
yeah,
I got millions, so it is what it is. And it's almost like when R. Kelly, what was that song he made? Young and You. He's the one that made that, right?
What?
Ready?
Seems like you read. Yeah.
So the same way we're accusing those dudes that might be spread, he was spreading. I mean, he did call himself the Pied Piper.
If you look into that, look that up.
The Pied Piper is a man who played the flute and convinced little kids to follow him into the woods, which was a recreation of Pan. And Pan, not just the Disney movie, the actual deity.
Pan.
So, and then you had Pretty Ricky. Was it not Pretty Ricky? Who was that made a song Aging Nothing But a Number?
That was Aaliyah.
It was Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was R. Kelly made that song. Wrote that song for her.
Pretty Ricky them had a song like that too.
I can't remember.
I think they had a song called Aging Nothing But a Number. But yeah, Leah had that song, which clearly was written by R. Kelly.
Yeah.
So I mean, the music is used to create a certain energy amongst the people.
You're right. Pretty Ricky did have a song called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. But like you said, theirs was more of them talking to older women, not younger girls.
Yeah. And that leads into another segue. Younger dudes with older women.
Oh, like,
if you remember earlier this year, it came out, was it this year or last? That was a couple of years, maybe a little while ago, where it came out that Mary J had messed around with a younger Danny Boy. Mary J was in like 22, 23, something like that. He was like 15. And it kind of came and went.
Yeah. Nobody
really said she was a predator. Uproar. Nothing much was said. It was, And
then Jada.
And now, Daz Dillinger says Jada Pinkett had an entanglement with Chris Kelly when he was underage. Daz Dillinger said that Jada Pinkett Smith was having an entanglement with Chris Kelly and Chris Cross in 1993. At the time, Chris would have been around about 15 and Jada was 22.
Is that the dark skin one or the light skin one?
I don't know. Look it up. But we know there are double standards, and we definitely view each gender differently. Because when we see a young 15-year-old boy get with Jada Smith at 22, we say, man, he must have had some game. She must have really been feeling him. Why don't we see that as predatory behavior by her? And why don't we see him as some naive kid the same way we do when young girls are manipulated by older men? Which one is it?
It's the darker skin one.
So why don't we hold this to the same standard we would a 15-year-old girl? Because when it's a 15-year-old girl and a 22-year-old man, we say he manipulated her. But when it's the opposite, it's seen as he was able to convince the older woman to let him do it.
Or we can go to like a more vulgar, a grown man penetrating a young girl, underage young girl. They see that as more of a predator than a woman letting a younger boy penetrate her.
That's what I'm saying.
The imagery of it is more vile for them.
Okay, you're saying it seems as it's more dangerous or violent.
They're viewing it as, he's hurting. Yeah, it's raping. He's hurting her. She's never experienced that.
Yeah, okay. But it's still society deems it that way. Let me say, it's like, even, I'm be honest, when I hear, unless it's a situation where a dude is saying he had a babysitter that made him do things he didn't want to do, that's different from a 15-year-old saying, I got it with Jada Pinkett.
Because that's seen as you becoming a man.
He was able to convince an older woman.
You get props.
Yeah.
But for a girl, it's seen as you a hoe. You're a 15-year-old.
No, she's a hoe. She fast.
She
acting like a grown woman. That's two different type of names. Fast and hoe. Hoe is you slinging it to. Hoe would be her getting it on with a bunch of 15-year-old dudes.
But that's what they think it leads to. Once she opens that door, she's just gonna be messing with everybody.
See, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith have been all over the news this week following Will's feature in GQ, where he spilled the beans about their open marriage. The legendary actor admitted during the profile that he once wanted to have a harem of 20 women following him around, including Halle Berry. We all know about Jada's previous entanglement with singer August, and we've been learning about the unconventional nature of Will and Jada's marriage in recent months. But apparently Jada has been playing this game for a longer time than we thought.
So when Will Smith tells me that he wanted Halle Berry to be his girlfriend, I'm going to say...
in his harem.
In his harem.
Not his girl, one of his women.
That tells me that occurred, allegedly.
And it also means that Halle ain't too difficult to bed down.
I believe at one point during Will Smith's marriage that him and Halle Berry was messing around.
Well, wasn't Jada supposed to be with that Spanish dude from that TV show she was on?
Hawthorne, the one who was married to J-Lo.
Yeah, she was messing around with him.
Mark
allegedly.
Anthony.
Yeah, TMZ and all them was on allegedly about that relationship, that fling. So I think they both been, the problem is Jada, and same thing with August. He was a younger dude. He was grown.
He was an adult.
I think he was 21, 22, something like that. Maybe a little younger. And she was clearly way older than him. He was a guy going through a lot mentally, and she manipulated him. He allegedly fall in love, and then you cast him to the side, and now he's just brokenhearted. And
Do you think that
what got me? I expected the dudes to be like, "All right, get over it." Da da da. But it makes me the women.
Yeah.
Were like, he's grown. Get over it. I'm like, wow.
I think Jada Pinkett Smith is Will Smith's handler.
You think she's his handler or he's hers?
I think she's his handler. I think Jada Pinkett Smith is far more.
Well, she was part of a rock band.
I think Jada Pinkett is a freak.
Oh yeah, she admitted it. She
and
said
I
she's a sex addict.
believe Will Smith is into some other things.
What's that dude name? What's it called? The one he was been accused with? Martin?
Dwayne Martin, Tisha Campbell, aka Applehead.
Allegedly, Dwayne Martin. That's been a rumor going around.
I believe that Will Smith I think Jada Pinkett as well. I think she's into some freaky stuff. Listen, she was in a movie with Set It Off with Queen Latifah.
During a recent interview, rapper Daz Dillinger, who worked closely with Jada's ex Tupac, claimed that in 1993 Jada was having an entanglement with Chris Kelly from Criss Cross. At the time, Chris would have been 15 years old and Jada would have been 22. Now, this is the video. I'm going to show you all the video. Go ahead.
And before you go into it, and Jada Pinkett is a very small woman in stature.
Yeah.
So that plays a innocent role into her. They were like, she's like, what, 4'9"?
I don't know.
So they're like, oh, well, she's the same height as him. It don't give a fuck how height it is. She's a 22-year-old woman messing with a 15-year-old child.
And then all the other stuff that supposedly happened with them two.
They've been through hell.
With JD. When we gonna get JD up out of here? We're gonna stop. Let's move on.
Remember, he did have a show.
Yeah, Chris Cross. Yeah, that's why little homies. That was our homies right there. You know what I'm saying? We kicked it with them all the motherfucking time. Wow. That was the first dude I seen. You think Jada Pinkett was entangling? She was entangling with Chris Kelly from motherfucking Criss Cross, because Criss Cross was in the room and he was like, Jada Pinkett is at the door, but don't leave. Take this weed. Chill. We like, damn, that mother gave us an ounce of weed. We're going to kick it right here. Then he came back in. He said, yeah, that was Jada Pinkett. I'm like, damn, this nigga fucking Jada Pinkett at a young age.
Wow, Chris Kelly was that?
1993, around that way.
Wow.
You know, yes, he was entangling me. Shout out to Jada.
So that tells me that Hollywood is allowing the book to be open on Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's relationship, or Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are finally ready to tell us.
What this tells me is this is a controlled demolition. This could have went left after the thing that happened with August. People expected it to come out about there's alleged that August and Will Smith.
People been saying this for years that Will and Smith has been allegedly in an open relationship.
Predators. She is a predator as well, isn't she?
Yes, she's a predator.
The same way Mary is a predator.
Yes.
And we don't talk enough, because I've seen, a lot of these, like I said, with R. Kelly thing going on, we saw a lot of people making the point about young black girls needing protecting. And not just young black girls, black women. And agreed. Full stop. There's no but. Agreed. On the other hand, we don't talk about the young black boys. We don't. A matter of fact, it's a joke. People make jokes about dudes in prison getting raped.
Yeah.
That's rape.
Tyler Perry, I think he said he was molested by a woman.
Yeah, I mean, I can show you video after these dudes admitting that these older women, when they were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, we're not even talking about 16, 17-year-olds dudes getting with older women. We're talking about not even teenagers.
What's that movie?
Well, Denzel.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about, and he was molested by his adopted family.
Yeah.
And well, the girl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that stuff don't get talked about at all. And when you make these points that it's you make it a point that it's only black girls and black women in the community that need protecting from sexual assault, you exclude the black boys. That's detrimental. Because you ignore that, because
it affects their psyche too.
Yeah, this guy.
When it happens to them.
This guy on Twitter has said this. He said, "This is similar story to Danny Boy and Mary J. Blige. What I find striking about these stories is that there's almost always told on accident. The men almost never realize what they're revealing because there's no language or conception of female predators." Exactly. As a matter of fact, let me show this. I'm only showing this to prove a point that sexual assault is a problem for children, not just a particular gender. This is a study done, PMC. You see here the study design. We analyzed 1999 to 2007 data from the Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System, a cross-sectional national representative survey of students in grades 9-12 established in the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Kaplan-Meier method was used to compute the probability of survival, not having to become sexually active at each year, age 12 to 17, and separate estimates were produced for each level of gender and racial ethnic group. African American males experienced sexual debut earlier than all other groups. All tests of significance at whatever the Asian males and females experienced sexual debut later than all groups. By their 17th birthday, the probability of sexual debut was less than 35% for Asians and less than 60% for Caucasians. In Hispanic females, the probability of sexual debut by their 17th birthday was the greatest for African Americans, females 74, males 82, and Hispanic males 69. So right here it's saying young black boys are the number one to experience sex earlier than any other demographic. Black girls are 2.
Yeah.
That's not to say that it affects black boys more. The point is both. It needs to be spoken on for both. I just don't understand why that's so hard to say. It's like when you say that we want to talk about the black. That's fine.
My God, everything wicked is African Americans. We are literally number one in every damn thing that's wicked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was a heavy story.
You just sit here and you think number one in everything that's wicked.
Yeah.
Almost if it was designed that way.
Almost. So the R. Kelly thing to me, it's a cut and dry situation with whether or not he's guilty or not. Obviously he is. But him being a person who was a victim that turned to be somebody who victimized other people is a story that we see a lot. But the other side is never spoken about consistently.
With the males.
With the males. That's all I'm saying. As for the women, look, all the parents should be arrested. What's his ex-wife name? Drea? How you say her name?
Andrea, how
you say her name? She should be arrested. The one who allegedly let the girl in the tape get urinated on. She knew the girl. Like, you brought her there.
His wife?
Was that her, right? No, I'm sorry.
That wasn't his wife.
I'm sorry. That was the other woman. Her too. She should be arrested as well.
Well, his ex-wife said she does not know anything about that.
Well, now she's celebrating his arrest, saying that she's glad to see justice. And like, but you just said.
But if you go back to, I researched this. There was a clip in that show she had on Hollywood Exes where she said she supported him through everything, negative, good or bad. She stood there by him. She was loyal. So when she says that tells me she had some indication of what was going on. I'm not saying she knew everything, but she knew something wasn't right.
Well, she had to be a part of it at least. When I say a part of it, she aided it.
Did he recently just start having these women in the houses after they got divorced, or how was he doing this before?
Once again, he is not the head of the damn machine. They used him, they got rid of him. He's the easy person to get rid of so that they can protect other people. Yeah. There was a tape found. The reason why we found the tape of him with the underage girl, the family, the husband and wife that found it, they found it in their attic because they thought it was a recorded sports game.
So somebody who lived in the house prior left it there?
No, it's theirs. They don't know how it got there.
Shit.
They purchased it, or somebody gave it to him and told him to lie and say they got. I believe he was doing this, creating this, and selling it across the Midwest, possibly. I believe it's a whole operation.
Agreed.
They call it CP. I'm not gonna say the actual words. I think it's a whole operation of CP. And they're making it seem like he's the head when I think he was just somebody who was a part of the machine. I wish they would have went further into the investigation. How about investigating him, interrogating him for names, something. They just went after him and moved on.
Because they wanted him to be the face of it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's enough of the R. Kelly story.
Be white.
We're going to move on to, this is time for the weekly COVID news. Look, let me tell y'all why we talk about this. But everybody's talking about it. But why we talk about it every week, it is life changing.
And it's never going to go back to normal.
It is. Society is forever changed. Culture has been changed. The stuff you see people saying to people that are vaccinated or unvaccinated, the whole war between the two, it's never going to change. People have been completely brainwashed.
And they're literally backing the unvaccinated people into a corner. They're literally pushing. It's like every day they're adding something new on. Like California, we're gonna get into that. New York, the whole city is mandated. We listen to Joe Budden podcast, and he's pretty much saying to go to a bar,
you gotta be vaccinated.
You gotta be vaccinated anywhere you go in New York City. So it's like they're literally excluding unvaccinated people from society because they're choosing to use their American right and opt out for now.
Well, another thing that's happening is the heat really about to get turned on. The NBA is coming back. The NFL, they nipped theirs in the bud quick. Mandated it, hey, you got to take it. All coaches, assistants, you taking it. Players, if you don't take it and you get sick, y'all have to forfeit the game, you're going to get fined. NBA don't want to do it that way. They have to be the league to act like they care about their players. So, before we get to that, NC hospital system fires about 175 workers. Hold on, let me get to this right quick. Hold on. Let me make sure I put this on the screen. All right. NC hospital system fires about 175 workers in one of the largest ever mass terminations due to a vaccine mandate. So, in North Carolina,
the great state of North Kakalaka,
anyone who didn't take the vaccine, you had a deadline to meet, and if you didn't meet it,
you're fired.
You were terminated. Look at this. A North Carolina-based hospital system announced Monday that roughly 175 unvaccinated employees were fired for failing to comply with the organization's mandatory coronavirus vaccination policy, the latest in a series of healthcare dismissals over coronavirus immunization. Novant Health said last week that 375 unvaccinated workers across 15 hospitals and 800 clinics have been suspended for not getting immunized. Unvaccinated employees were given 5 days to comply. Novant Health spokeswoman Megan Rivers told the Washington Post that more than 99% of the system's roughly 35,000 employees have followed the mandatory vaccination program. She said in a statement that Novant Health was thrilled with those who chose to vaccinate, had given patients and visitors better protection against COVID-19 regardless of where they are in their health system. Rivers tweeted that almost 200 of the suspended workers, including those who had submitted approved exemptions, received their first dose by Friday. The hospital confirmed that the rest of the suspended employees who did not comply were fired, although the exact number of those dismissed was not specified. Now, hold on. It said even those who had approved exemptions did it. So the people who went and got an exemption
then decided,
still turned around and got it.
Which means they were told that if you don't get the vaccination, you're going to be fired. We don't care about your approved exemption.
No, they could sue. So it must be something else. Testing? They didn't want to go to the testing or something?
I believe they told them that approval exemption no longer holds up.
Lord. You know, something else happened. In New York, as you just said, New York going crazy. In New York right now, or it already happened actually. Because we found this story last week, but we couldn't record it till y'all just hear it now.
That's what happened when you're in jail.
Yeah. Damn, right? Damn, you do feel like you're behind sometimes. Yeah, I can understand that. Anyway.
Boy, they get cell phones and shit dropped. With drones and...
As you can see right here, absolutely unconscionable. New York set to fire 70,000 healthcare workers tomorrow during a public health crisis because they won't get vaccinated. This was September 28th, obviously. So this is a couple of days ago. It already happened. You see here. But this is their way of circumventing that, to getting around that. New York may use the National Guard to replace unvaccinated healthcare workers.
Well, that tells me the National Guard don't got shit to do.
That tells me that they really gonna go through with this stuff.
Yes, they are.
Now they're painting this like, well, because these people won't get vaccinated, we are forced to bring in National Guard members, the retired people. We have to bring people from other countries. No, you're creating the problem.
And
These people were doing a job.
What really made me upset though is when you have people saying, "Well, I don't want to be around unvaccinated people," and I love the way that ICE kind of was talking about it on
from the Joe Budden podcast.
He was like, "Well, if I'm vaccinated, and you still can, get, if you're vaccinated, then why do I care if unvaccinated person around me? They're putting themselves at risk. They're not putting me at any harm because I still can get.
Yeah, I'm less likely to die or anything
because I still can get affected with a vaccinated person sitting there with me.
Yeah. So yeah,
and you still have people going back and forth like, well, that you can't. Yes, that's simple as you can put it.
It is. Let me show y'all.
Meeting with our mandate, which strikes at midnight tonight, when everyone is expected in a hospital in the state of New York or a healthcare facility to have been vaccinated. I will be signing an executive order to give me the emergency powers necessary to address these shortages where they occur. That's going to allow me to deploy the National Guard, who are medically trained, deploy people who've been retired, who may have had a license lapse, bring in people from elsewhere. That is not my first position, though, my friends. My desire is to have the people who've been out there continue to work in their jobs, work in them safely, and to all the other healthcare workers who are vaccinated, they also deserve to know that the people they're working with will not get them sick. And we'll be nation leading.
To God during this time. And you know what? God did answer our prayers. He made the smartest men and women, the scientists, the doctors, the researchers. He made them come up with a vaccine. That is from God to us. And we must say, thank you, God. Thank you. And I wear my vaccinated necklace all the time to say, I'm vaccinated. All of you. Yes, I know you're vaccinated. You're the smart ones. But you know there's people out there who aren't listening to God and what God wants. You know this. You know who they are. I need you to be my apostles. I need you to go out and talk about it and say, we owe this to each other. We love each other. Jesus taught us to love one another. And how do you show that love? But to care about each other enough to say, please get vaccinated because I love you. I want you to live. I want our kids to be safe when they're in schools. I want you to be safe when you go to a doctor's office or to a hospital and are treated by somebody. You don't want to get the...
Wow.
She said, I need you to be my apostle. So that means she's Jesus.
She's a witch. That's what she is.
The level of propaganda and newspeak going on. Listen, we all knew that there was a lot of lies being told. And I've never really paid that much attention to politics until, funny enough, till Trump made people get involved in politics. You didn't need to like him. You just looked around and said, there's a lot of lies. Not because he said there was, but because something will be said, and then the next week it would be totally different.
Fake news.
And you would be like, everybody's lying. Both sides, all people.
Fake news.
So if you even look at politics for a month, you'll see a politician change their stance on something 4 or 5 times. It's insane. And then they'll tell you you're wrong if you point it out. Hell, you get taken off some websites for playing video of them saying something. If you go on Facebook and play certain videos of politicians saying something, they'll say you broke a term of service. It's like a politician said this.
Like Joy Reid. We're not gonna forget what she said, and then when Nicki Minaj pointed it back to what she said.
Yeah.
And people defending that shit.
Joy Reid said, I don't trust FDA or CDC.
She said she didn't care if Biden got in the office. She still wasn't going to take it.
So it's like, I learned. It's like.
No, what? But you just called somebody out for saying something.
Yeah.
They didn't even say don't get it. They just said do your research on it.
Oh, now they're making fun of people who say do your research. They think when you say do your research, you're just watching videos.
And not only that, the New York mayor just called you stupid. She said you the smart ones.
So if you're not vaccinated,
you stupid.
They've been saying that for months now. If you're not vaccinated, you're stupid. You're you don't know nothing. And if you got the research, you would take it.
And she not talking about the Most High, but she's talking about God.
I doubt it. Well, this is some video of some of the people on the street in New York who have an opinion on what's going on. You're starting to see a lot more people get outside. And, or should I say, the media is starting to put it on camera more. More than likely what's really going on.
Fuck the vaccine! That's right. Fuck the vaccine, yeah! Let's do it! Yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah. Yo, can you get us some hogs? Can you get us some big?
Dozens of Massachusetts state troopers handing in their badges over the state's vaccine mandate set to kick in on October 17th. With law enforcement already critically understaffed nationwide, is this putting the public in even more danger? Mike Shervin is the president of the State Police Association of Massachusetts and a 25-year veteran of the force, and he joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sergeant. Why are you fed up?
Well, there just hasn't been time to properly roll this program out. We are in the middle of impact bargaining. The deadlines are here upon us, and we don't have the answers that our members need. Those that are seeking medical and religious exemptions have not been told if they're granted, will they be allowed a reasonable alternative to it, to wear a mask and weekly testing. And because of that, they're looking to other places for employment. And the municipal departments within the state of Massachusetts are offering these reasonable alternatives. So it's not an across-the-board mandate. It's only for the executive branch of Massachusetts, which is affecting my membership.
Fox News lying their ass off too. Now, Fox News talking all that goofy shit. They have a mandate.
Yes, they do.
Fox News, anybody who works there has to be vaccinated.
Or they have to get weekly testing twice a week.
So it's like they have a mandate in their office, yet they talking against... Okay. Once again, all sides are liars. They keep telling you that Fox News and Trump are against vaccines. They're not. Trump is literally calling it the Trump scene. He said, take it.
It's his virus. He created it.
You mean his vaccine?
Shit. His vaccine. He created it.
That was
the misinformation.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say the government did that. So we did not say that, Mr. Robot, Mr. Bot. I'm going to have to get this a human review. But anyway, also, we're seeing that NBA players, as I said, the NBA is back. A couple of players, are starting to speak against it. And you had a point you wanted to make about the big stars aren't the ones that's coming out. Now, obviously, we've had a conversation about LeBron. Is he going to come out? He came out and said he took it.
Yeah. You don't.
My opinion. But Andrew Wiggins of the Golden State Warriors has been probably the biggest story in the NBA as far as the vaccines. They've turned him into the lightning rod and used him as the talking point to say, you should take it. You've had now keep in mind, just 2 years ago, NBA players were the greatest thing ever. When they walked out, when they was doing the protests and all that stuff, they loved them. They're not calling those same people dumb.
Yep.
The blue checks. The pro NBA player, the pro blackity black fake
because that was them fulfilling their agenda.
So now that some NBA players are like, you're just dumb athletes. Isn't that the same thing as what that Fox woman says? Shut up and dribble.
They're not woke anymore.
They're basically telling them this is the liberals now. They're telling NBA players to shut up and dribble. What's the difference? Once again, both sides don't give a fuck about you, black people.
Do you want me to tell them what I believe that
Go ahead.
So me and him had a back and forth about this. I believe that the smaller, if they're not asking the top NBA players for them to get vaccinated and they're making them exempt, then
they're not making them exempt though.
I'm just saying. If they know an NBA player who is a top NBA player and he has not taken the vaccine and he's not being pressured to take the vaccine, I think the smaller players should call it out. You think they don't? You don't think they should call it out? You think they should just
No, because in the NBA it's like a brotherhood.
So they
you
should
don't
just.
you don't put something like that at somebody else's front door.
So what should they do? They should not take the vaccine and then.
I'm not saying what they should do. I'm saying.
But you are saying what they should do. You telling them they shouldn't call it out.
That's not telling what they should do. I'm giving my opinion. I said I wouldn't. If I was an NBA player and I knew of some superstar NBA player who didn't take it, but nobody's talking about it. Yeah, I'm a mid-tier player, and they constantly asking me that question. I still wouldn't bring their name up because why would I put that at his door? He didn't do nothing. Like, why would I bring it to his door?
Is he doing anything to help me in my situation to protect me from me having to take it?
Is he doing anything to hurt you?
He's not speaking up about it. Yeah.
Is he doing something to hurt you?
Him not speaking up about it is hurting me.
How does that hurt? If I speak up about it, it's gonna take the attention off of you and put it on me.
You're damn right. You're the
why
top.
should it be on me?
Because you're leading an example. You're the top NBA player.
But you're a grown man.
He's a grown man too. I got to do what I have to do. What I have to do to feed my family.
So
I think it's kind of weird that you say that's a brotherhood. When you say a brotherhood, it automatically puts me in the mindset of a fraternity.
It is.
And that's a good thing, a fraternity. When we know what fraternities represent and what they do.
I'm saying it's a fraternity, as in once you're in the NBA, it's like a thing where you don't speak against other players. When have you seen many NBA players speak against each other? They're not like NFL players. NFL players are idiots. They'll purposely try to destroy another person's career. He lose money, which means they lose money. How many times
what should that bottom tier basketball player do when he's being pressured to take the vaccine and he doesn't want to do it?
Do what he feels he needs to do. And his teammates are not pressuring him. So,
but the lead is pressuring him.
But I think you said the team. I think you said the players.
No, what I'm saying is,
so now it's not about the players no more.
It's about the lead in. What I'm saying is,
you just
if I'm a bottom tier player and I'm being asked to take the vaccine, and the top players are not being asked to take the vaccine,
who said it? No,
I'm speaking not as if it's true.
You create a scenario that doesn't exist, so we can't use this.
But we don't know that.
Top players are being asked these questions. LeBron was being asked these questions last year when he was asked to come out and tell the black community to take the vaccine.
And what did he say?
He didn't say nothing. He said no. He basically said no. I want to do more research. Same thing with Kevin Durant and with Kyrie. We don't know if he's taking it or not. So I'm not understanding. Why would a player send it to another player's door because he don't want to deal with it?
I'm not sending it to your door. I'm speaking as if they are not being pressured to take it, but I'm being pressured to take it. And why is that so?
You're coming to that assumption. They are being told they have to take it. They have to deal with the same restrictions and mandates.
I'm not speaking as if it's true. I just find it harder to believe they would let a Kyrie Irving go for not taking a vaccine versus a guy like him.
Well, we
right?
don't know if he's taking it or not.
That's true.
So they come after him 24/7.
Man, y'all gotta let this fraternity stuff go.
What you mean?
I'm just kind of crazy. You said it's when you say brotherhood, that brings me into fraternity.
It's like co-workers. It's us against the owners type thing.
What?
Yeah, we try to get as much money as we can out of this business. I'm not gonna call you trash. Well, unless it's a serious game or something. But for the most part, I'm not gonna call you trash and lower your value across the league.
Clearly, you have not been in the workplace as long as I have been in the workplace.
We said NBA.
Well, you said it's like a coworker.
They are coworkers.
I have coworkers at work too.
They're not NBA millionaires though.
You're correct about that.
You don't look your coworkers don't look at it like us versus the boss. They look at it, let me get mine. They look at it like let us. The more the top players get, the more we get. They don't do that to your boss. You trying to get his job.
I'm not trying to get my boss job.
I'm not talking about you in general. I'm talking about people. I'm trying to make what my boss making. I don't care if they make more or not. In the NBA, the guy ahead of me, I kind of do want him to make more because if he take more, I get to ask for more. If I'm a guy who's an all-star and this guy's an all-NBA, whatever he signed, I can get at least 75% of that. So I want him to sign for as much as he can get so I can get more. But back to the top, I don't even know how.
You went off into this long ass.
No, you did because you brought up, the whole snitching on your teammate stuff.
That ain't no snitching on no teammate stuff.
That is.
Well, that's your that's your opinion.
So here's more NBA.
I'm trying to keep it PG-13 on this podcast episode.
Here's more NBA players speaking against it.
Jonathan, Josh Robbins with The Athletic. What is it about the vaccine that makes you hesitant to get it?
I would start with I've had COVID in the past, and so our understanding of antibodies, of natural immunity has changed a great deal from the onset of the pandemic, and is still evolving. I understand that the vaccine would help if you catch COVID, and you'll be able to have less symptoms from contracting it. But with me having COVID in the past and having antibodies with my current age group and physical fitness level, it's not necessarily a fear of mine. Taking the vaccine, like I said, it would decrease my chances of having a severe reaction, but it does open me up to the, albeit rare chance, but the possibility of having an adverse reaction to the vaccine itself. I don't believe that being unvaccinated means infected, or being vaccinated means uninfected. You can still catch COVID with or without not having the vaccine. I would say, honestly, the craziness of it all, in terms of not being able to say that it should be everybody's fair choice without being demeaned or talked crazy to, doesn't make one comfortable to do what said person is telling them to do. I would say that's a couple of the reasons that, I would say I'm hesitant at this time, but at the end of the day, I don't feel that it is, anyone's reason to come out and say, well, this is why or this is not why. It should just be their decision, and loving your neighbors, not just loving those that agree with you or look like you or move in the same way that you do. It's loving those who don't.
Good luck, brother. That was perfectly worded the way you say that.
Perfectly.
But we live in a communist country now. This is a communist country, and there is no your opinion. It's do what the government says.
So I'm wondering, I got some more clips of these NBA players, but they got something in their hands, because it's tough. They was just cheering these NBA players on and saying they should have an opinion and they should be able to speak.
They was woke then. They sleep
woke,
now.
They real. They pro. The people who want to support them now.
They sleep.
Particularly these white liberals. When they see them now, they don't want them to speak no more. They're saying they're just a basketball player. They're not doctors. Even though we got doctors and nurses who are saying the same thing, you're calling them stupid.
And we will not be showing those videos.
No, sir.
We may link them in the
article. I can do that. Thank you.
Link
the brother in the comments who said to link the articles. Yeah, I'm make sure I link that one.
We will link the videos and the articles, but we will not be showing it. We want the revolution to be televised.
Might get our ass for the damn description. But I'm gonna show another clip. This is Bradley Beal giving his opinion on the NBA's mandate.
Every player, every person in this world is going to make their own decision for themselves. I would like an explanation to, people with vaccines. Why are they still getting COVID? If that's something that we are supposed to highly be protected from. Like, it's funny that, it reduces your chances of going to the hospital. It doesn't eliminate anybody from getting COVID, right? So is everybody in here vaxxed? I would assume, right? So you all can still get COVID, right?
We're less likely to die or go to the hospital.
Okay, but you can still get COVID. Right. So, and you can still pass it along with the vax, right?
So
I'm just asking the question.
Oh, sure. And so, having COVID back around the Olympics, that basically just saying, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but having it change your opinion one way or another, did it kind of reemphasize I don't need the vaccine because of that?
No, that wasn't the case. I mean, yeah, I had it, but that doesn't mean I can't get it again, I mean, it's no different than somebody with a vaccine. I developed the antibodies for it, so my chances will be less likely now as well, right? But it's still a possibility I may get it. Just like there are players and coaches and staff who are vaxxed, and missing camp right now because of it. So
It's absolutely a shame. Even though he is explaining himself, he's muting himself at the same time. He has to pause and be careful of how he's wording and saying this to keep from.
I was kind of annoyed that he seemed nervous.
This is how it is. Even on this platform now, it's like you can't speak freely. You have to dumb yourself down. You have to mute yourself. You can't say what you want to say because your fucking channel will get a strike. We on strike 1. 3 strikes, you out. It's ridiculous. We are literally living in a communist country.
Well, we tried to go to Black Junction TV before we started this channel, but they charge you to upload videos.
And I don't mind paying to go on a platform that is not going to be muting you. I don't have a problem with that. It's not me, y'all.
I'm sorry, I found that strange. You had to pay to upload.
It's a black owned that I know of. Because we know we say stuff is black owned, but it don't be black owned. Allegedly, it's a black owned social media company, and it's harder for black people to have businesses and stuff. So I don't have mind paying to go on that platform. It's just niggas don't go to that platform. I know YouTubers that's like, yo, check out my video on Black Junction TV. I'm not just gonna show a snippet on here, and they don't go there.
They went weeks without uploading their main channel, making people go to Black Junction,
and they still
niggas just won't go.
I think the highest
niggas
view
just won't go.
Highest view video is like 60,000 views.
So it's like but I will say this: it's not the fault of the people. It's also the people who own the website. They did a poor job of.
No, I'm not just gonna blame it. I'm not gonna just blame it on them.
It's your
black
job to
people
market
don't like supporting anything that's owned by black people because they view it as low budget and cheap.
Bullshit.
And it's a ripoff from the original. That's how they see it. They see it as a copycat, a downgraded copycat of YouTube. And they're like, why would I go there? Like you said, I have to pay when I can just be on YouTube and upload my content for free.
Bullcrap.
Okay.
Black people support stuff that they want.
Well, they clearly don't want Black Junction TV.
No, I didn't say Black Junction. I said black stuff they want. I just said I don't feel like they market it correctly.
They don't want to pay to go on that platform, dude.
Yeah, the content creators. I'm talking about people that view, the people who the viewers. I'm not talking about the content creators. People not even going on there to watch the videos.
Because you want to be honest? It's not a whole bunch of ratchet stuff on there.
So wait, you saying YouTube got more ratchet stuff?
Yes, they do.
So because hold on. You said you're saying a lot right now, right?
Yeah, I'm saying a lot.
So you're
saying our people.
So you're saying black people don't go to Black Junction TV because there's not ratchet stuff on it.
I'm saying black people don't go to Black Junction. You're not gonna tell me how to answer a question. I'm saying black people are not going to Black Junction TV because they don't have a variety of content that they want to see on there.
That ain't what you said. You said it ain't ratchet stuff on there.
I said what I said. Ratchet stuff is a part of content.
You said,
is it not?
No, hold on. See y'all. You see what he did? You said
I cleaned up very nicely.
No. You said they didn't go in there because of ratchet stuff not on there.
It's part of it. It's part of it. I said it. I'm standing on it. My back ain't jelly spine. I said what I said.
So now you're saying it's because they don't have a variety of content.
They don't have a variety of content.
That's two different sentences, ain't it?
A lot of things that they have on Black Junction TV is very positive. It's very pro-blackness. And not everybody's into that.
He's saying a lot. Y'all heard what he said. We're going to move on, but y'all heard what he said.
It's the truth. You gonna deny what I'm saying? It's not the truth?
I do not believe the reason why black people don't go to Black Junction TV is because it's not ratchet stuff on there. No, I don't believe that.
Yo, you said they don't go on there because it wasn't marketed.
Yeah. They didn't market it well. How many people even know about it?
There's a lot. Okay.
How many people know about it?
Enough for them to have more than 60,000 views as their highest rated.
When last time you went on there?
Like a month ago.
Checkmate. All right.
They didn't fucking checkmate.
I'm gonna show the next video.
I said I don't mind paying for our content to be uploaded on it. You are the one that has a problem with the content being uploaded on it because you don't want to pay for it, correct?
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
I said checkmate because I got you. All right. Next video, we're going to show one more clip. Draymond Green had comments on it. I can't wait for him. I'm not cheering against him, but I am waiting for him to retire.
Damn.
Wow.
See what I'm talking about? Black Junction TV. It's the same one that says, my brother's keeper, teammate, guy. Now he's saying he can't wait for this black man to retire.
Now y'all see how he jumped the gun right there? Because let me finish my sentence. I can't wait for him to retire because I can't wait to see him on television to break down the games. He's one of the best commentators I'm gonna say it. One of the better commentators that I've seen. He was on TNT, and he did a really good job. You see how you jumped the gun right there?
Nice cleanup.
There was no cleanup. You literally cut me off.
Nice cleanup.
Anyway.
That would be like
quick on your feet.
Him, like, yo, your wife is going into labor. How dare you leave this team and not go tend to your wife for what that could mean for this team? That's something that's personal to him. That's health related. That's, something that's personal to his family. This is no different. This is, we're dealing with something that to me feels like has turned into a political war. When you're talking about a vaccination and non-vaccinated, I think it's become very political. And, for someone who's not extremely into politics, when you make something so political and not everyone is into politics, then you can also turn those people off, and, I think there is something to be said for people's concern about something that's being pressed so hard. Like, why are you pressing this so hard? Like, so much, you're just pressing and pressing and pressing. I think you have to honor people's feelings and their own personal beliefs. And I think that's been lost when it comes to vaccinated and non-vaccinated. And it kind of sucks that that's been lost because you're essentially not giving anyone, you say we live in the land of the free. Well, you're not giving anyone freedom because you're making people do something essentially without necessarily making them, you're making them do something. And that goes against everything that America stands for or supposedly stands for. And so I know I'm not in any position to go tell him what he should or should not be doing. And as a leader of this team, I'm not going to go to him and say, hey, man, we really need, no, the hell, you do what you feel you want to do. That has nothing. I'm not going to go and ask him, did he get a polio vaccine? So why would I go ask him if he got?
He did what you said he should do, right? Remember that brotherhood I'm telling you about? You don't bash your teammates and stuff?
I wasn't saying bashing teammates.
No. You saying bashing guys that's not on your team. But anyway. Let's go to the next article. In unrelated news, because with that, obviously, he said everything right there. It did become political. And it's
very political.
And there's two ways to it. If you took the vaccine, you're a Trump supporter. If you're white, you're a Trump supporter, racist. If you're black, you're stupid.
If you didn't take the vaccine.
No, I'm saying if you did take the vaccine, you're white, you're a Trump supporting racist. If you're black or anything else, you're dumb, or you're too poor and don't understand how to get to a place to get the vaccine. If you did take the vaccine, there's also things with them. If you did take it, you automatically called a sheep. When actually you might have just took the vaccine because you actually wanted to take it. It might not have been something that was pushed on you. You might have actually wanted to take it to not get back COVID. But you're called a sheep by the other side now, and you're not. You might have actually wanted to take it. You weren't told to. So, but anyway, in unrelated news. In unrelated news, fully vaxxed former CNN contributor Mark Lamont Hill suffers heart attack and is hospitalized with blood clots after blast NBA players critical of COVID vax.
Before we get into it, he's on Black News Network, which is also on TV, correct?
Yeah.
So why is he being called a former?
Because they don't respect
CNN. Exactly. They don't respect your Black News Network channel because they're still talking about you being a CNN commentator.
Yeah, he said that about when it came to Isaac, the Orlando guy who said, gave that really what we call articulate, the display of, discernment of coming to a conclusion of why he don't want to take it and all this stuff. Mark Lamont Hill responded to him and said that this sounds smart to people who don't know things.
So this
stupid
sounds
people.
This smells smart to stupid people.
And they think this actually helps them.
I'm not even gonna say what I really want to say.
No, don't say it.
About Mark Lamont Hill. I'm not gonna stoop to low levels.
So yeah, I'm just saying we read it. Unrelated people. Unrelated. Don't put the two together. Wink wink. So look at this.
Oh.
Every player, every person in this world is gonna make their own decision for themselves.
As you can see, sorry about that. The View hosts say they had a false positive COVID test during Kamala Harris' interview. Remember, how long ago was that now? This was written the 27th of September.
That was a week
About a week ago. Kamala was coming on for an interview, and two people, I forgot who the two people?
Sonny Holston and
Anna Navarra. They were pulled off air on Friday in a startling moment of live television that forced the abbreviated Harris interview to be conducted remotely.
I don't believe so.
But it was said it was a false positive.
Which would make you think how many?
Just that.
And we just leave it at that.
Next thing. Look at this. Workers fired for not showing New York vaccine passport will be denied unemployment insurance. So,
damn.
If you are a healthcare worker and you're being fired the last couple of days because you didn't take the vaccine, you may not, it's not definite in every state because each state has different guidelines, but there's a possibility that you will not be able to receive unemployment because they'll say you broke a policy. And if you break a policy at a job, that's equal to quitting.
This New York is a liberal state.
Yeah.
This is not a conservative state.
By the way, we still got a thing going on with the eviction moratorium.
Yeah.
We still got that going on, by the way. I know nobody talking about that no more. People get put out.
A lot of women will be cleaving on to one man.
New York State employees who will get fired for not being able to show a vaccine passport will not access unemployment insurance, announced Governor Kathleen Hochul on Saturday, only 2 days before the deadline for all state workers to have show a passport. However, a judge temporarily halted the vaccine mandate for New York City workers on Friday. Obviously, this is a while ago, but the point is, how is this even possible? Look at this. Won't get a COVID vaccine. If you're fired, you may not get unemployed benefits. They're literally forcing you, like you said earlier, into a corner.
Yeah.
To where
they're trying to give you
so limited.
Your options are so limited that you have to take it. And it's going to cause chaos to erupt because you're going to have more people out in the streets pretty soon protesting. I've said this, and I think the other video we did, that we were talking about the minority of how many, or the majority of people who are unvaccinated or who are vaccinated, and I said it's probably roughly around like 100. It's like 100 million people are not vaccinated.
In America, you mean?
In America, I'm just speaking for for North America, and you have about 80.
Well, you can't say that because you count Canada when you say North America. You mean
just the United States of America.
Yeah.
Damn, they know what I'm talking about.
Canada? You can't even, if you're American, you can't even go to Canada right now.
There was Canadians that have been trapped here since the pandemic started.
Did you know also in Canada right now, you can't fly or use trains? What's his name? President Trudeau, how do you say his name?
Yeah.
The one who's in blackface and keep getting voted in.
Oh, their president?
Keep popping up in blackface.
The one who's a bachelor as a president who ain't got no wife and no kids?
No, forget that. The one who constantly has pictures popping up of him in blackface said you can't get on planes and trains if you're not vaccinated. So they already did it in Canada.
Coming to a country near you.
Most New York healthcare workers fired of a mandate won't get unemployment insurance.
Yeah.
That's so unfair. So now you're going to fire me because I won't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
But then you're going to bring in people, the National Guard,
Filipinos,
retired people. You're going to bring people from other countries to replace me and say, oh, we have a shortage. We wouldn't have a shortage
if you wouldn't do what you were doing. And going back to what I said, I think 80 million people are not going to buckle. 20 out of that 100 million going to buckle, but 80 ain't going to buckle. They're going to stand firm.
I don't know about that. I seen him fold too much the last 2 years.
You got to have an army that's not gonna fold.
Yeah, I want to show this right quick. Hold on. I saw this right here. I had COVID, guys. The doctor said if I wasn't vaccinated, the symptoms would have been worse. Please go get vaccinated. Oh, I forgot to show this, by the way. This is related to the R. Kelly story. This was Chuck D had to say. He said, abusing his youth and addicted as an adult. Ike Turner served 18 months in prison. Rick James did a similar time. Ike came out as a changed, positive human being. How long should R. Kelly spend in prison? And does a USA system give a man a chance for a man to change his world around? He deleted that tweet because people thought he was defending R. Kelly. But is he just saying, are y'all going to lock him up and throw away the key? Or he deleted that tweet.
Yeah, because
and then also
somebody told him to take that tweet down.
Yeah, obviously you see here, this is what's his name again?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley with his 14-year-old wife.
10-year age gap.
Yeah. I forgot to show that clip. That's I know we kind of pulled that back, but yeah. But now we're gonna move to the big stuff. Let me show you this right here. California will require all school children to get a COVID vaccine once fully approved. Isn't it? I thought
it was already approved.
Community. I can't say that. Community, isn't it the name of it?
Whatever the word is.
That was FDA approved.
We said the word several times.
Community is a separate vaccine from the Pfizer BioNTech. I thought it was fully approved. I guess he meant for kids for 5 to 11 now.
No, he's talking about from
5 to 12, 5 to 11. Yeah, they already got the 12 to 17. I think maybe they haven't.
I think he's still talking about.
I think talking about the age. I think talking about the ages. But
They
anyway,
say it in the article.
Yeah, California Governor Gavin Newsom on Friday announced the nation's first coronavirus vaccine mandate for school children, requiring that all elementary through high school students get the shots once the vaccine gains final approval from the U.S. government for different age groups. Wait, how is he mandating it right now if it hasn't been approved? That means he knows it's gonna happen. Like the government has fully approved the COVID-19 vaccine for those 16 and over, but only granted an emergency authorization for anyone 12 to 15. Once federal regulators fully approve it for that group, the state will require students from 7th through 12th grade to be vaccinated in both public and private schools. Wow.
Private schools.
Newsom said he expects the requirement to be placed by July 1st.
How can you tell them to do that in a private school?
Wait. Next year? Huh? So wait
this article?
This is recent. This is October 1st today.
Damn. That's next year.
So wait. Why is he putting forth a mandate for next year?
That means that this is still...
Wait. When is their election? Next year, right?
Yeah. He's trying to put something in place just in case he is
I don't know.
Voted out.
But the election gonna be after July. Anyway, I don't know. But private schools?
You remember that was the scapegoat.
Yeah, you would take them out of public and put them in private.
So that you would not have to follow the... Wow. Didn't I tell you? They keep backing you into a corner and you're going to have to come out swinging.
The announcement comes as infections in most of California have dropped markedly in the last month. Newsom has been emboldened after easily defeating a recall effort last month following a campaign where he emphasized his commitment to vaccine mandates to end the pandemic. In Los Angeles County, the nation's largest, with more than 10 million residents, just 1.7% of people tested for the virus have it, and daily infections are down by half in the last month when most kids went back to school. So why are you mandating it? The numbers are all right. Anyway, whatever.
Well, you know that it starts to peak again in the summertime.
Alabama
governor
defends plans to use COVID-19 relief funds to build prisons,
which means she considers building prisons a priority over giving people these loans who have businesses. And Alabama happens to be the what?
The blackest state.
Blackest.
So those prisons have been made for anyway.
For black people.
Alabama Governor Kay Ivey,
black men in particular,
is defending her proposal to use the state's allotment of coronavirus relief funds to build new prisons in the state after receiving criticism from the Democrats. Ivey, a Republican, convened. Damn, I'm not okay. A special session, yeah, something was special right there. All right, special session of the Alabama legislature to discuss how to fix what she has called a decades-long problem. As part of a solution, Ivey has proposed using up to $400 million of the federal COVID-19 relief money, up to $785 million in bonds, and no more than $154 million from the state general fund to add new prisons and renovate others in the state.
Damn. So this whole thing about her is just getting new prisons built and renovating others in the state. Wow. Because you remember,
Hey, you know what? Go ahead.
Who was it? I think it was. It was an article, but I remember Yvette from ADOS talking about how the prisons and Tone Talks talking about how bad the prisons looked in Alabama, how they didn't have no electricity, they were sleeping on concrete floors. So she's like, we're just gonna take the money and give the prisoners better living conditions.
I like when my races are blunt and honest.
She's pretty blunt.
I like when I know who you is.
You remember she came out and said they just won't take the damn COVID. They won't
take it. I can't make them. She said, "Fuck it, they won't do it. I'm not gonna make. I can't make them do it."
She said, since they won't take the COVID, since they won't get vaccinated, I'm gonna take the money and get these prisons ready for them.
Yeah, because we're gonna be locking their ass up later. Well, yeah, let me go ahead and go to the next topic. Black community waits on Biden to deliver on promises.
Well, what promises did you ask him for?
Let's see what it has to say. Hold on.
In the 8 months since President Joe Biden took office, many black voters who helped him into the White House say they're not feeling the love. Last week, his George Floyd Justice in Policing Act fizzled in Congress. He promised we'd get it. Criminal justice reform being a major issue for our community. So where is the return on black voter investment? BNC's Ansar Hassan reports.
As the summer officially comes to an end, the city of Oakland hit a milestone. Its 100th homicide of the year, one of the deadliest in more than a decade. Its victims, mostly black men.
And I think it's beyond just the numbers. These are 100 of our community members, people who have connections to families. Their legacy lives on. Pain lives on in our community.
While local leaders and activists struggle to curb the violence, Oakland Police Chief LaRon Armstrong is seeking federal assistance, especially funding to help with violence reduction.
I know that the president has been allocating funding to support those type of evidence-based strategies.
When it comes to black communities, such as in Oakland, President Biden promised a lot. A key message during the campaign was lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. There were 6 main points: closing racial wealth and income gaps, tackling racial inequity in education, investments in healthcare, protecting voter rights, environmental justice, and strengthening America's commitment to justice.
The wealth gap ain't changed. I mean, the main thing about this is the education system. We're gonna get to him not doing what he's supposed to do with that. Healthcare, nothing has happened. As a matter of fact, they're firing protect the right to vote. Okay, whatever.
When was that ever when has that been an issue, protecting the right to vote? You mean telling people they need to have IDs to vote?
Environmental justice. You mean being pro fracking?
Oh, no. Let's talk about environmental justice. It's a place, I can't remember if it's in Texas, where black people are literally living. They're living on the oil farm. They were living behind something that's causing them to get sick and get cancer. Was it oil farms or what was it?
I know you're talking about, I forgot what it was. It's almost like Flint.
Yeah.
Has many Flint.
Hell, Flint is an example.
Well, there's multiple Flints all over the country.
They're literally living somewhere that's causing them to get cancer because of the quality of air they're getting. And they literally built it.
Next to the black community.
Yeah.
But 8 months into his presidency, many are calling on the president to deliver.
Lawmakers and the Biden administration sort of have forgotten about that, forgotten about the promises made, forgotten about the outcry and the demands for justice.
Well, they only
The
forgot.
outcry.
They only forgot because niggas is asking for it.
That's very funny. She said outcry. And
Yeah.
asking for reparations too. That wasn't in the fucking agenda. Wow.
Then we gotta ask the question: how did the George Floyd Policing Act fail? We saw how quickly they got the anti-Asian hate bill in. How did the George Floyd Policing Act fail? Well, they said it's because of the qualified immunity. But who negotiated that to fall out? Well, guess who they blaming? Report: no qualified immunity deal for police because Jim Clyburn weakened negotiating position. And I thought about this and I remembered, oh yeah. Y'all remember back in May when out of nowhere, Clyburn came out and said, yeah, qualified immunity, that's not necessary in negotiation. We're willing to negotiate down. And all the Democrats, everybody like, what are you doing? See here? This was March 13th. Jim Clyburn undercuts the Democratic police reform bill. Nearly a year has passed. We're going to go past that. The looming deadline has reignited the debate over what exactly a satisfactory bill would contain. An emphasis on bipartisanship preached by both President Biden and Democratic senators opposed to changing the filibuster rule has slowed the process even further. A House Representative, Karen Bass, and Senator Cory Booker tried to find common ground with the Republican figurehead on the issue and GOP sole black Senator Tim Scott. The two parties have substantively different, likely irreconcilable visions of what police reform looks like. And with fundamental disagreement coming over qualified immunity, the legal shield that makes it impossible for police officers to be sued for wrongdoing, even when they knowingly break the law. Most leading Democrats have insisted that qualified immunity must be repealed as far apart as a satisfactory bill. Scott and the Republican caucus have less willing. So that brings in, where is he at? Okay. Clyburn's comments, it seems, were not lost on Tim Scott. Less than a month ago, Scott indicated a willingness to reach some sort of compromise on qualified immunity. Hold on, wait. Oh, here we go. The negotiation was made more difficult for Democrats after House Whip, Congressional Black Caucus member, and top-ranking Democrat Representative Jim Clyburn went on the Sunday shows this past weekend and vocally pledged a willingness to give up on qualified immunity reforms entirely. Appearing on CNN State of the Union, Clyburn said, if we don't get qualified immunity now, then we will come back and try to get it later. But I don't want to see us throw out a good bill because we can't get a perfect bill. These comments mark a stunning undercutting of the negotiating position of Representative Clyburn's colleagues and are a major departure from the position of ranking House and Senate Democrats, as well as civil rights and activist groups. Clyburn waving the white flag on the most crucial sticking point of the police reform bill that Bass, Booker, and others are still in the midst of negotiating puts them in an even tougher position as they try to wrangle a less and less willing GOP into some of the consensus. Listen, he was told to do that.
Yep, and now his daughter has a job, right?
Okay, jump the gun. All right. Jump the gun, Travis. Damn. So if you remember, what's that woman name? Those two white people. What two white people? Who they keep blaming for not being able to pass a bill? They told you all year to vote Democrat. Then you vote for these people, and then right before the election ended, they said, oh, these two people, one is in a purple state. We might not control them. We might not be able to get bills through. We really don't have a majority. That mentioned in the other woman. And it's like, Clyburn is ours. White liberals are mad with them. Niggas gotta be mad with him. Clyburn, I believe, he was told, we don't want qualified immunity in, but we can't say we don't want it in. Talking about Biden them. So he told Clyburn to take the bullet. So Clyburn came out and said, we're willing to get rid of this. Because, as you jumped the gun and told him.
I ain't jumped the gun for nothing.
You just jumped the gun.
I jumped the gun.
Reveal. Biden reportedly nominated daughter of political ally Clyburn to post. So he did it so his family can be rewarded. So now the bill is shot down. It ain't gonna get through. Clyburn single-handedly tanked it, and he's being rewarded for it. Clyburn is also the same person who got Biden in office.
Yeah.
When he told black people in South Carolina to vote for Biden.
I'm not going to say what should happen to him, but in ancient days,
stone his ass.
He would have been stoned.
I'm going to have to edit that out. But anyway, Claiborne purposely tanked the George Floyd Policing Act to get this. This is what you call a Judas.
Selfish. He only care about himself.
This is the type of person who you get rid of people like him. I'm going to say it like that. We keep saying these older black people. I'm not talking about all y'all. We love our elders. But some of our older black people, y'all put us in bad positions.
This is why every movement that we've had in this country, it never works. Because it's always wickedness and selfishness at the roots of every movement we had as black people in this country. We're never going to get anywhere because we have Judases in every single movement that we have. Nothing has worked.
Yeah. Now let's show some other stuff that Biden has broke. Other lies he's told.
What the fuck is this woman? Man, I'm tired of Black News Channel.
$3.5 trillion reconciliation bill has been under attack from the jump. But lately, Biden's Build Back Better agenda is getting friendly fire from members of his own party. Case in point, Congresswoman Alma Adams of North Carolina has made it abundantly clear she plans to vote against Biden's $3.5 trillion plan because her colleagues in Congress will not fully fund historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it went down. President Biden proposed $55 billion in funding for HBCUs during the big reveal of the American Jobs Plan. Well, the full budget request then goes to Congress to reconcile the request with Congress's choices. Now, Congress, which is in control of the Democrats, decides to only allocate a total of $30.5 billion. Well, when Congressman Sam Adams and Senator Raphael Warnock saw that nearly $30 billion for HBCUs had just disappeared, they wrote to their colleagues on the education committees asking for a compromise number, essentially saying, okay, fine, just give back $15 billion of what you promised and we're good. Well, no deal.
Weak. I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you 55. I'm going to drop it down to 30, and then you're going to tell me, okay, please just give us back 15 that you took. That's weak. You're part of the base of the party.
They just begging for crumbs at that point.
You're part of the base of the party, and they can just spit in your face and say no. And you know what they do with
Which
the money?
tells me you're not part of the base of the party.
No, you are. They
no,
just don't
they're not.
No, you are. They don't have to give you anything because you don't ever demand it. You 100% on the reason why they win. Biden's promise to HBCUs unfulfilled by Congress.
They're not. How are black people the base of the party when we're only 13% of the population?
Because we're the only one that vote 90% for one bound party.
Okay, white people are 60% of the population.
They don't vote 90% for either party.
True. Hispanic people.
They don't vote near 90% for any party.
They don't vote near, but they vote at a higher ratio for Democrats than they do Republican.
Not as much as black people.
I don't think black people are the deciding factor.
They 100% are.
Okay.
Why do you think they want your vote?
I think that's a facade to make you feel important, especially the black woman, to make her feel important.
That don't make sense. If they didn't need your vote, they wouldn't ask for it at all. They would go to the Mexicans like they keep saying they go to, and they don't get it. They need you. You're the only one that vote at a 90% clip for one party. You 100%.
Black women vote for 90% of a party.
Black men do too, other than last year.
No, they in the 80s now. Late 70s.
I said, for the most part, they're in the 90s.
No, they're not.
Okay. Anyway.
You don't think those numbers? You think those numbers are real?
Why would they fake those numbers?
Okay.
Just say what you got. Why you keep? Okay, say what you want to say.
No, I'm letting it go.
Okay.
I'm a conspiracist.
They don't make sense for them to lie about you being their base.
It don't make sense for them to lie about a lot of things, but they do it.
All right. Anyway.
Anywho.
This is the article. President Biden's ambition higher education agenda had its disappointing as Congress turns into legislation with a strict budget forcing lower than anticipated funding levels for some of its provisions. While the bill includes funding for historically black colleges and universities, advocates say is well below the needed. Now, Black News Channel, as I just showed you, they covered this, but it didn't cover this completely. We're going to tell you where that other money went. In the current version of the budget reconciliation bill, serving as the vehicle for Biden's Build Back Better Act, HBCUs and other minority-serving institutions are slated to receive $27 billion in tuition subsidies. $1.4 billion. We already read all that. We already know all that. Meanwhile, Biden proposed a total of $55 billion for HBCUs and other MSIs to upgrade research infrastructure and to create research incubators for improving STEM education. I'm trying to go. Where is it? Where is it at? The number is just significantly lower than what we hoped for, said Paul Jones, president of Fort Valley State University and vice chair of the Council of the 1890 Presidents. Along with the minority serving institutions and the Hispanic serving institutions, it's really sort of lumping us all into one sector when we all have tremendous needs.
Which is what they've been doing for the past couple of years. That's why they've been saying people of color.
They took the money that's supposed to go to HBCUs and spread it
to all people of color.
Yep. To the Mexican, all minority colleges.
And they fall for it. Y'all, now do you see why on this platform I keep talking about the fake black and brown bullshit and the people of color stuff? Because this is what it has been leading to. But y'all keep promoting black and brown, people of color, minority.
You see here, the biggest champion of the legislation, Representative Alma Adams, a Democrat from North Carolina, sent a letter to her colleagues Sunday expressing concern with how the infrastructure funding has been structured in the Build Back Better Act. First, that all MSIs will have to compete for the same pot of money. And second, that priority is given to institutions receiving less than $10 million a year in federal research dollars. So you're not even the priority in the money. So the money they gave you, that $55 billion, they cut your pie up and gave it to them. And that's of the pie they already cut, of the $30 million. You see, they playing you.
They don't care about getting played.
It's insane.
And Black News Network, y'all should be talking about this.
They didn't say that. All they said was the money was taken. They didn't tell you where it was going.
That's going to go against their whole Hispanic Heritage Month that they've been talking about this whole fucking month in September. That's why.
Harris to host Latina business owners at White House.
Oh, where's her sorority sisters? Has she brought them to the White House yet?
Yeah, I think they finally had a little party.
Oh, okay.
Made them happy to get them off her back.
Oh, okay.
Also, where's it at? Okay, we gotta show this now.
Oh, so y'all get played all the time. You get played.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked real bad. All right, I'm gonna play y'all a clip of Nancy Pelosi possibly having a slip or a fraudulent slip where she admitted something that I don't think she really ever wanted to admit. Let's see.
Keep government open. We have to do those imminently, more imminently even, to address the full Obama agenda of building back better and I love to say building back better.
You hear what she's saying?
Which?
Hold on.
Keep government open. We have to do those imminently, more imminently even, to address the full Obama agenda of building back better and I love to say building back better.
So this proves the point that Barack Obama has been behind the scenes being the puppet master this whole time.
Nancy Pelosi just called Biden's Build Back Better plan agenda a Barack Obama agenda.
And we said that in previous videos that Barack Obama was behind the scene. This is his third term.
Yeah, I had to pause it for a second because his blood started getting a little hot.
Once again, you are being muted from telling the truth. Once again, I am being muted from telling the truth.
All right, so we showed that
puppet master. Do we have?
Don't do it.
3?
All right, here you go. All right, so they taking your money, the money they promised you. They're taking it. and splitting it up amongst other people. They telling you the plan they got, that Build Back Better plan is supposed to be for you. Nancy Pelosi said it's the Obama plan. Take that as a slip. Who cares? I'll show you this. Look at this right here. Biden includes plan to be able to fine companies that don't mandate vaccines up to $700,000 in his $3.5 trillion reconciliation package.
So the company that I work at is not making this mandatory,
So
which means he's going to fine them
$700K. Up to $700K. It's not.
They're going to fine them up to $700K. Now,
70 to-
mind you, businesses are already struggling right now. Let's talk about healthcare. A lot of, some seniors have passed away. Some have moved out. So if the business is already struggling financially, and then you're going to put that on top of them, you think they're going to be hesitant to make it mandate something?
No.
Okay.
But it's 70,000 to 700,000. I had to make sure I point that out. So, and you actually said, okay, I gotta ask this question. Are they doing that because they want to be vaccinated? Or are they doing that because they need money?
Both.
Before we show it, I also want to show y'all another clip that I just remembered. This is at Burger King. Hold on.
What happened here, Wolf, is that Republicans.
Let's listen to what this lady had to say.
I just needed to record this. Please have your vaccine card ready to show cashier to make a purchase. I am in motherfucking Burger King. Burger King. And these motherfuckers telling me I gotta be vaccinated. I gotta show my vaccine. This is crazy. This is crazy. You guys cannot tell me that you're okay with this. This is withholding food from people. Like, that's where we're at? You guys are okay with withholding food from people? In some areas, fast food is the only food that they do have.
Yeah, they call them food deserts. And guess what food deserts typically are? In black communities.
Now, so I'm going to be fired from my job because I won't take the vaccine, and then I can't even go back and rely on a fast food job because they've also made it mandatory there.
Well, they have more than 100 workers.
Like, shit is about to get real.
Yeah.
I would urge anybody, if you have any money, please go out and stock up before this week is over with.
Damn. This week?
If you can go tomorrow. No, some of you know you can't go tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you could go Sunday and go stock up.
Convenience stores, these are called food desert areas. There's not really a good place to go and get groceries. So this is their main food source in a lot of areas of the United States. I cannot even believe that we are here again in history. History repeats itself. When you outcast and you segregate an entire group of people because of something that they don't want forced into their body, you are no better than a Nazi yourself.
So, if you live in a food desert, which is typically
there was a documentary about that. It was in I think it was in Tennessee. It was a black lady. How they had to take a bus to outside their city to get to a grocery store because they had no grocery stores in the area that they lived in.
So, when a black person who live in that neighborhood, because this is allegedly they care about them so much. When a black man or a black woman go to McDonald's to get food for their black child because there's no grocery stores around,
you got to be vaccinated.
I got to get vaccinated first to eat and feed my kids.
So I can just imagine somebody just going across that counter whooping somebody's ass.
Oh yeah, fights gonna happen. Fights are already happening, but yeah. Now look at this right here as well. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Had to make sure that was recorded. Look at this. Now, I asked the question.
Ain't this is scary.
I asked the question, why are they finding all these people? They finding ways to get money out of people some way. Are they doing that because they want you to take the vaccine? Or are they doing that because they broke as hell? The U.S. government will run out of money by October 18th, Treasury Secretary said.
The U.S. government is going to run out of money.
Nah, they talking about that's why that's why they're trying to sign the bill. But I mean,
anybody that would see this would go, "What? The U.S. government is going to run out of money by October 18th?"
What they're saying is, I'll read it. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, I can tell you who that person is, but Lord have mercy, warned lawmakers that the federal government will likely run out of cash for extraordinary measures by October 18th unless Congress raises the debt ceiling. The new estimate for Yellen raises the risk that the United States could default on its debt in a matter of weeks if Washington fails to act. A default would likely be catastrophic, tanking markets and the economy and delaying payments to millions of Americans.
That's the federal government.
It is unclear whether we will continue to meet all of the nation's commitments after that date, Yellen wrote in the letter, adding the projection is based on estimated tax payments. Previously, the Treasury Department estimated it would run out of cash in accounting maneuvers at some point in October. The warning comes hours after the Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would have suspended the debt limit. So, did they say this to put pressure on the GOP to support the bill?
Yeah.
Or are they telling you out loud
that we broke?
Now that leads to this conversation. Biden's driving tax.
Also, oh no, go. I'll wait till you're done with that.
So, listen, in that bill, there is a study to see what type of money they could get if they taxed you per mile for driving on highways.
So they're gonna try and say that they're gonna try to say that giving you the tax for this because of the climate change.
No, the reason why they're saying they're doing it is because it would stop you from being taxed for gas. Instead, we would just tax your miles instead of the gas.
But you're gonna make more money off of taxing me.
Is you? People, I don't know. Listen, I think they're gonna do both. The average person drives 13,500 according to the DOT. DOT. $1,080 tax just to drive your car that you paid for with income that was taxed, paid sale tax on, were taxed for licensing fees, and the fuel required to drive it was taxed. So not only is your license taxed, getting your car taxed, getting a to drive tax.
Now you tax to drive.
No. Then we have the insurance. Now I'm taxed for driving it. Now, I went on to read more articles. They said, because there were people saying that there is a law, or not law, I'm sorry, legislation to pass that. No, they're saying it's not a actual legislation, it's a study. But I'm like, well, what does that mean? Is it going to be tested on some people? What do you mean study? You see here, does the current infrastructure bill include, this is supposed to be a fact check. Does the current infrastructure bill include a new pilot program to study a per mile user fee that would charge drivers based upon how many miles they drive? Now, I know you probably got another theory. Go ahead. Well, you were just talking about it. Go ahead.
What?
Environmental.
Oh, I thought they were doing this because they're going to be saying, oh, we're doing this because of climate change to try to keep people off the roads and try to make them take buses.
Now, haven't they already said that there should be, I can show you the article. They've already said they believe that there should be a yearly shutdown because during the pandemic, they've given off the least amount of carbon they can remember. So they're saying just do a yearly or at least a annual, maybe not yearly, maybe every couple of years, shutdown, lockdown.
So that you're not driving.
So is this tied into that?
Well, I can imagine people gonna be getting locked up because they're not gonna be paying no taxes to be driving their car. It's gonna be like driving without a license kind of thing. Your license they're probably gonna take away your license, revoke your license if you're not paying taxes to drive on the roads. But you know what I find, what I've always found strange, because you know that here in the state of Washington, they charge you to drive on certain bridges. You get it's called a toll tax. You have to pay to drive.
It's a different boroughs and stuff,
which is absolutely crazy. You know they're increasing that. I saw the other day they're increasing it. Everything this country finds a way to make money off of you and tax the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, that's all it's about.
That's why like I know I've been like, shout out to Black Eagles of the Gambia. Okay, it's all coming to me. Why y'all saying
get out?
Get out.
They've been telling them to get out. Listen, another thing that's in this bill, Joe Biden signs last minute deal to avoid government shutdown. We know the bill he just signed. Deal includes $28 billion in disaster, and guess what? $6 billion for Afghan refugees.
Now, the government is about to shut down.
But they made sure.
But they passed money for our Afghan refugees.
But they still can't pass that George Floyd Policing Act.
And they also couldn't give the HBCUs their money, but they somehow got some money
to give them.
Give them.
Did they scave off some of your money?
They're considered a minority. They're brown. Hell, some of them black as hell too. So
did they scratch off some of that $55 billion?
I guess so. He was pinching off their fund. He was taking it. He was taking away from the HBCUs and giving it to everybody else.
So it is true. There is a study in the bill to talk about the taxing. Now, we read earlier.
Listen, when they tell you they're doing a study, they've already done the study.
They're just trying to see how you react.
They're just trying to see how you're going to react to it and when they're going to implement this.
But earlier, a couple of months ago, we talked about, they already said they want to pass bills and laws so that you can't fly without being vaccinated, because they saying
you can't ride on train.
They saying that the reason why I want you flying is because having COVID on the plane, it's the same thing as being a bioweapon. So you shouldn't be able to fly.
Okay, but what the fuck does got to do with driving?
Then they said, if you're not vaccinated, you shouldn't be on. They want to see if they can ban you from driving on the interstate highways if you're not vaccinated.
Now, how are you gonna get past that to somebody on the intersection highway?
So now on that highway that you have to be vaccinated for, you can possibly be taxed for driving.
And I'll say this, and I don't care how nobody feel about it. I see idiots riding around in their car with their window up with a damn mask on. This is the stupidity that we've come to.
Like, who you gonna infect yourself?
You in the car with your damn wife, and y'all got a mask on with the windows
out of the
up.
bed together.
Y'all just got out of the bed together. Hopefully, you had a good night. Wink, wink. But I bet you didn't have no. Did you have a mask on when you were doing that?
Oh Lord, see, we can't even. Yeah, these people are crazy. Insane.
This is insanity. You are driving down the road with a damn mask on and got your windows up. This is what we've come to. Welcome to Earth. We can't just say welcome to America. This is Earth. I don't know how it's going to Africa, but Australia, oh my God. They are the experiment.
Yeah, Australia, they got it
bad. It's terrible.
They got it bad.
Hell, Canada got it bad too.
Yeah.
They don't talk about Canada like they do Australia.
No, they don't. Okay. Go ahead and start winding it down. This story I want to show. Hold on.
This is when I get hype at the end.
Yeah, for some reason you be. Yeah. All right. This story here. It's kind of a positive story, I guess. Might be for some publicity, some good PR for Gavin Newsom of California. If you look at this, Bruce's Beach can return to descendants of the black family and landmark move signed by Newsom.
It's a shame because he tried to make this a positive, but I'm sure about to make it a negative. They give the niggas back their land in the end. It's the end. They don't need that land back. What they gonna do with it?
It's worth quote unquote millions, ain't it?
They gave them the land back when we are in the end.
Let me tell you another reason why it's the end. I know people ain't been talking about it, but there's a drought going on in California. I say another 3 years, and people are going to be leaving California in droves because of the drought. So basically, they gave you land that you're not even going to be able to say it.
Hell, the question is, California is in a drought. The whole West Coast is in a drought. So what are we gonna do when we have that big tsunami and separates California from the United States?
It's already separated.
It is already separated. If they would remove the dams,
It's already
the ocean will come back up.
California is already separated.
California is, those maps are incorrect. California is separated from the United States. It's its own island. If the reason why the land began to form is because those dams they created, which created land. Have you ever noticed like how the mountains and how how it looks like, it looks weird how everything is, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be water there.
Oh, the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon and stuff. It's like, this looks like this supposed to be water and we're actually at the bottom of the ocean or something. It looks weird, like it's not supposed to be here.
But yeah,
America.
That happened. He signed it, gave him the land at the end. When I want to know if they're gonna try to sell it or they're gonna try to turn it into a property that they can
sell it
consistent money from.
Sell it and get your little change.
I'd get rid of it if I was them, based off of what's going on.
Sell it and go somewhere else and purchase some more land.
Get rid of that land as fast as possible.
I know that it sounds crazy that we're saying, we were always talking about owning land, but
some places ain't good to own land there.
Go sell that, get your little change off that land, and head to the south.
Get out of California.
Head to the border. Head to the border.
Get out of California, people. But yeah, all right. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, you wanted it to be a good story, but I mean the truth is true.
I'm telling the truth. They gave you the land in the end.
Now, we're gonna go a little bit hold on. Okay, yeah. This video here is a video of a Asian woman saying what her people say when they come to America. As far as society,
this ain't black hate, is it?
Huh?
This ain't black hate, is it?
Anti-black hate, yeah.
It's anti-blackness.
So she went down and said pretty much bluntly, very blunt, about the feelings they have about the hierarchy in America and what they do, how they strive to be better when it comes to this country and what they strive to not be. Let me show y'all.
So how should we think about the structuration of race? What kind of sociometric analysis could we pursue? These are the questions that animate my current book project, Asian Americans in an Anti-Black World. I'm going to try to take just a little slice of the book to present to you before we move on with affirmative action. Okay, so my departure point is Lewis Gordon's discussion of the two principles shaping the U.S. racial order. Be white, but above all, don't be black. White is best, but the most important thing is not blackness. Blackness, Gordon writes, is the point from which the greatest distance must be forged. So, building upon Gordon, we can say the racial order is structured first and foremost by anti-blackness, the abjection of blackness, and secondarily by white supremacy, the valorization of whiteness. Asian Americans, I argue in my book, are positioned at that tense conjuncture between anti-blackness and white supremacy, where the elevating force of being not black meets the downward force of being not white. Despite significant and persistent inequalities among Asian American groups, even the worst off among them have something, in James Baldwin's words, something to lose, namely their not blackness in an anti-black society. So let me make this a little more concrete by discussing the original Asiatic in the American imagination, the Chinese immigrant laborer in the 1800s. Yes, everything always goes back to the Chinese immigrant labor, everything in Asian American studies anyhow, where we can see how not blackness was constitutive of the very concept of the Asiatic from the start. What we see in each of the three Chinese labor stories of the 19th century that I briefly touch upon in my book, Chinese wage labor in California, Chinese contract labor in the U.S. South, Chinese indentured labor in Cuba, is that Chinese presence was always predicated on black absence. As we learned from Nadia Aram-Hario, Edley Wang, and Moon Ho Zhang, Chinese migrants came to California because it was a free state that prohibited slavery and thus had an enormous demand for labor. They were transported to Cuba as part of the coolie trade that sprang up to take the place of the declining global slave trade. And they were transported into the South in the wake of the Civil War to help lock down black economic and political subordination.
Now, what she just said is blunt. Be anything but black. But when we hear that from an Asian person, you go, see. But it might break some people's heart. But it ain't just Asians. Some people that come to this country that we feel like look like us have the same views.
Which goes back to that all skin folk and kin folk.
So I'm going to show this little clip of this. It's kind of long. I want to show a little clip of this and what she had to say.
Many years, my sister was up the street at Harvard. So I was accustomed to, an academic setting with high achieving blacks. But I had never disaggregated, her best friends were Haitian and Nigerian, but I never really thought about it. I just thought she had really smart black friends.
Well, one thing, the overwhelming number of blacks who had gotten into this very excellent school were not American blacks. They were Caribbean or African. Does that suggest something about who's going to college and who's not, who are the good students and who's not?
Well, that's the narrative that we think we know. I mean, Lana Guinier has definitely done some work looking at sort of elite institutions that of the black students, tend to have more Caribbeans and Africans. But as a whole, when you look at universities across the country, that's not necessarily the case.
Interesting. But it also said something about, attitudes that Caribbean American parents, African American parents, I'm talking about Africa Americans, have towards black students, towards American blacks.
And I use the term black American just to decrease confusion, but also in a historical sense, there are many black Americans who don't necessarily feel beholden to the continent itself.
Right.
So just as that helped me clarify certain things in the book. But I think a lot of parents, especially first generation parents, who may not have had either interactions with black Americans or first generation parents who have had less than positive interactions with black Americans due to neighborhood segregation or competition or perceived competition for jobs. They're definitely on the defensive when it comes to interactions with black Americans, which, the literature states trickles down to their children, and that creates this beginning of an attitude that can divide black American and non-black American.
What were the relations like between black Americans, Caribbean Americans, and African Americans on campus?
Well, on campus, it was great in the sense that because we are such a small group, there was definitely a cohesive group, right? We were all, for the most part, almost all of us were members of the Pan-African Alliance, which on most university campuses called the Black Student Association, but for various reasons it had gone through different name changes. But when I was there, certain students broke off and formed the African Student Association, and other students broke off and formed the Caribbean Students Association. But what I found fascinating is that they never gave up their membership with the Pan-African Alliance.
Interesting.
So
You see that? So you can have multiple identities, but I can have one.
Black Americans can't tap into their culture, but they're allowed to tap into your culture. You have to share, but they don't have to share.
And I'm comparing that to the Asians because they can share people of color,
minority,
non-white, but they can be Asian. The same way they can be black, but I can be Caribbean. I can be African.
I can be Haitian.
But I can only be black. So I'm forced to have one identity in this country, but everybody can connect to me, but I can't connect to nobody else. Everybody can say, hey, I'm a person of color like you. Hey, I'm black like you.
That's why I said for black Americans, black is a nationality, it's an ethnicity, and it's a race. It's all three for us.
I'm making that point to say, when you see people make these bills and do these things to supposedly help us, and then you see them cut it up and give it to other groups, that's how the game is played. That's how the game is played. That's how they do it. And we don't like to say stuff like this because we like, well, we all, we all black. Like, look.
And it doesn't take away the fact that, we were defending the Haitian people at the border because that was fucked up. We call shit out. But at the same time, we have to call shit out like this too. Once again, Black Americans have to share, but
no one else has to
other
share.
part of the diaspora, they don't have to share.
They can go create different coalitions, but still be a part of ours.
But never gave up their membership because they have to. I'm gonna say it. They have to ride your coattails to get where they need to go.
That's gonna piss them off.
And I said it.
But yeah, I just want to tie it up at the end of the show. As black people in America, we have to be way more shrewd with how we move. If you're going to be in politics, if you're a person that believes in voting and stuff, you can't lean on somebody like Biden and Kamala and all these other politicians. You have to have homegrown people that have the agenda instilled in them. Something you don't have to tell them, they know. So that when they get to a certain position, they know what to do. And if they don't do it, you put them back down and throw somebody else up there.
Yeah.
We have to stop expecting these other people to have our best interests. And people say that we've been saying this for 40, 50, 60 years.
This is beating a dead horse.
I get it. I know. But I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I did have some other videos to show. You want to show these or just go ahead and show it?
Just go ahead and show it.
All right. So this video here, there's an 8-year-old girl. These are two stories. Yeah.
New detail.
So, an 8-year-old girl, a tragic accident happened. Well, it was an accident. She was killed by police. I'm going to show you all the video here because it's not really getting spoken about.
New details that we've learned today about the tragic death of a young girl at a high school football game in Delaware County. The 8-year-old innocent victim was shot almost 3 weeks ago when officers returned fire after they say they heard gunshots. Action News reporter Chad Perdelli now joining us live from Sharon Hill, where a former Philadelphia DA is expected to be appointed tonight to lead this investigation. Chad.
Yeah, Shari, this is an independent investigation separate from the one the DA's office is doing. Borough Council tonight is expected to appoint Kelly Hodges to lead it. This as we learn new details about that tragic shooting.
According to multiple law enforcement sources, 3 Sharon Hill police officers opened fire on a vehicle outside the Academy Park High School football stadium. The officers mistakenly thought they were being fired upon from the vehicle and fired on it more than a dozen times. But a search of it and those inside turned up no weapon. Sources say it appears the initial shots fired actually occurred roughly a block away. Shockingly, no one was hit in the car. In all, 4 people were shot, Fanta Bellitti fatally. District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer says there's a high probability she was killed by police gunfire. Sources say 2 of the officers are white, 1 is black.
This tragedy will not go without consequence.
Today, State Senator Anthony Williams and the Delaware County Black Caucus held a press conference to assure the public that they are involved and watching the investigation closely.
Who were you firing on?
So
there's so many holes in this story.
You heard gunshots and shot somebody behind you, but the gunshots from a block away. And then you looked in the car and there was no gun. I'm pretty sure, you know, if you're an officer, I'm sure you know how to tell the distance of a shot. When a firearm goes off, I'm sure you can immediately tell the difference.
If it's right there or if it's fucking a block away.
So that's bullshit.
Let me tell you something. These people are absolutely wicked as can be. That is murder. Why is it that officers are allowed to make a mistake for shooting people and there's no consequences held to you, but you, a civilian, make an accident and shoot somebody and you go to jail? You go to prison for doing that. They need to have the same consequences as a civilian has. It's not fair.
Now you see, you see here it says.
New details that we've.
Sorry. It says ballistic markings are relatively easy to recognize. So why are they saying probably died from police gunfire? Just check the bullets and send those officers to jail. Well, they're trying to they're cleaning everything up. You see right there? Qualified immunity. They're going to be protected because Jim Claiborne, goofy ass, willingly sacrificed that bill so that his daughter can get a job.
And you see what the Most High did? Every time.
His daughter's gonna get a job for sacrificing that bill, and this little girl probably is not gonna get justice for that. Those 2 white officers and that black officer too, they're gonna get off and say it was an accident because of qualified immunity. So, yeah. See, it's almost like that. What's that movie? For one thing, you can see, what do they call it? What's that? It's a saying they have. When one thing leads to another, and you can see the trail. We got a name.
The butterfly effect?
Yeah. Butterfly effect. There's another one here. This one here is crazy. Let me show you on this one. Hold on. All right. This stuff black people deal with, bro. Watch this.
Some of you may have had the unfortunate experience of butting heads with a difficult neighbor, but this story goes above and beyond typical lawn care issues.
Yeah, neighbors in the Salem Lakes part of Virginia Beach say one resident is offending them by blaring racist songs. 10 on your side's Madison Pierman is looking into these claims and why police haven't been able to act. Madison.
Stephanie, these residents tell us that this neighbor has at least 8 home security cameras watching them in their court in Salem Lakes. They say he plays offensive music depending on who's outside. Recently, it's escalated to this.
Whenever we would step out of our house, the monkey noises would start. So racist, and it's disgusting. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it.
Janique Martinez recorded those sounds coming from her neighbor's house with her cell phone. She says it shows her Salem Lakes neighbor using speakers to play monkey noises when her family's outside.
It's just him. He finds a way to antagonize people and does it so passively aggressively.
She says it's not just her family getting the not so silent treatment.
He has played music to taunt the entire cul-de-sac.
But recently, Martinez says it's escalated.
He found out that we called the police on him to turn down the music one morning, and it's just been nonstop with the N-word. My son is terrified of him. Terrified. The minute I open my front door, his lights blink, or my music or my song comes on. As soon as they get to the middle of their driveway, it blinks. They got a specific song.
Martinez and her neighbors were fed up with the lights and cameras. They decided to take action.
I've gone to the magistrate. I've gone to civil court. I've talked to a lawyer. I've done everything in my possession. Like, I've done what I can to do it the right way.
10 on your side tried to speak with the neighbor for ourselves, but no one answered. As for a solution, neighbors were told there's a fine line of when police can actually step in, and having a racial slur played over a recording.
Man, if you don't, this is when it shows that our people have gotten weak. Are you serious? You're calling the cops instead of just dealing with that? Isn't there a man that live with you?
No, they never have the men on.
Her name is Martinez. I mean, I'm just saying, she black. Her name Martinez. I mean,
either you with a damn Hispanic
Afro,
or you guys are not Black American. You're from,
like, I'm just saying, like,
from Puerto Rico, Dominican, or something.
You
Cuba.
see this person here say, I would blast NWA, Ice-T, Public Enemy, and anyone else with a lot of bass in their music. That'll get his attention. And somebody said, where's the husband at? Like,
they don't put the husbands on TV.
I don't know. I'm gonna show part 2 of this right quick. Hold on.
For ourselves, but no one answered. As for a solution, neighbors were told there's a fine line of when police can actually step in, and having a racial slur played over a recording may not meet that line.
According to the law, it's just a statement or a phrase, or he's not doing enough, or bodily harm or threats to my family. I spent 11 years in the military. My husband is also a vet. We fought for this country, but yet there's no one to fight for us.
Some neighbors tonight picking up their own fight. They've decided to protest outside the Jessamine Court home this evening to try to convince their neighbor to stop with the slurs. Wavy News will be there to follow up. In the newsroom, Madison Pierman.
Man, I'll be blasting music.
It's so many ways you can go about doing it.
You can get back at him so easily. Dear God, be creative. You calling the cops? Be creative. He want to play that music. Play something back. Now I guess you don't want to play them games. You don't want to play them games?
No, but
Step to
let
'em.
me tell you something. If she were to do the same thing, blast her music and do the same thing, the cops would be out there.
Well, that's the point. Now if you're gonna arrest him for blasting mine, you have to arrest him. If you don't, lawsuit.
That's disturbing the peace.
If you don't, lawsuit. So I would 100% blast my music. And if you arrest me,
You know what? It's
or fine
amazing
me, I'm
how
gonna
they
tell
can
you
come
gotta
up
do
with
it.
all kind of laws for you, but with them, they just can't find anything on the books. There's nothing on the books. There's nothing we can do here. Nothing to see.
And by the way, because she's in the military, that means her husband is either Mexican or
Some South
Latino
American,
or
Afro Latino dude.
Afro Mexican, Afro Latino.
I think that's what he is.
Yeah. Okay. I just think that story just ridiculous.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. That's probably why her husband was not on
television.
On television because he's not black. That's the only thing I can take off of that.
I mean, if your husband is not doing nothing, he tell you to call.
Well, because he's the monkey and the monkey noise isn't for him. That all that noise is not for him.
I'm about to say something, but I'm stop. But anyway,
we're not gonna stoop to the level of white man.
We're gonna not stoop to his low. But this is the end of this one. Been going for a little while now, just over 2 hours. That's a good number. All right, man. We finally back. Hopefully we won't go popping up missing again. If we do, check the feature channels on our channel. It's right there. That's probably
Please go subscribe.
Yeah, go subscribe to it just in case, And by the way, I'm gonna make sure I link. If you don't do that, go to their Twitter and follow that so you can get updates on the channel. I don't tweet very often, so I'm letting you know it now. I don't have no followers. I don't tweet that often. I just got it to get information. If you want to know what's going on with the channel, if it gets suspended or whatever, you can follow it. If not, then you can assume it if we go up missing. It's kind of obvious.
Well, just go subscribe to the channel because if you do, we'll be uploading on that channel, and then you don't have to go through all that shit.
Yeah. And also, we got a Facebook, Lost in Seattle TV on Facebook. Go check it out.
Yeah,
Follow
I'm gonna
that.
start.
Yeah, he's
working on
going to be
that one.
managing that. Hopefully, at some point, he'll start managing it. But anyway, man, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. We're going to be putting a lot of content out, hopefully, coming up. But anyway, man, all praise to the Most High. And peace, man.